For my current trends case brief, I decided to focus on the patent case Dow Chemical Corporation versus Nova Chemicals. The case citation is Dow Chemical Corporation versus Nova Chemicals 2017 FC 350. This case is an example of a patent infringement action. Dow sued Nova over the manufacture and sale of polyethylene plastic product in Canada. The action was divided into two parts. The liability phase is Dow's patent valid and was it infringed by Nova? And the quantum phase. If the patent is valid and infringed, what amount of money must be paid by Nova to Dow? In response to the first phase, called the liability phase, and the question for the phase, is Dow's patent valid and was it infringed by Nova? Dow was successful in this phase. Dow's patent was found to be valid and infringed by Nova in the 2014 case FC 844. Dow was entitled to choose one of the two following options: Dow's damages, which were caused by Nova's infringement, or Nova's profits made on the sales of the infringing products. These two options led to the second phase. The second phase was called the quantum phase, and the question for this phase was if the patent is valid and infringed, what amount of money must be paid by Nova to Dow? In this phase, Dow chose to receive Nova's profits, called an accounting of profits. The issue in the second phase was the determination of the profits that Nova was required to pay to Dow. The decision made by the federal court for this case occurred on April 19, 2017. The court determined the amount of profits Nova was required to pay to Dow as a result of the infringement. The final award totaled over $645 million, including prejudgment interest. This is the largest reported damages award in a patent infringement action in Canada. Several new accounting of profits issues went before the court, including springboard profits and deduction of costs. In order to understand this case, it is important to understand the rationale. As mentioned in the previous slide, there were two mentioned accounting of profit issues, the first being springboard profits. It's important to understand what a patent is and what springboard profits are. A patent is only valid up until a specific date, the expiry date of the patent. Springboard profits are profits made after the patent has expired. Nova was required to pay to Dow their profits made after the expiry of the patent. The court held that springboard profits are available as a matter of law. I agree with Justice Barnes that springboard damages are nothing more than a type of loss to be proven with evidence, and I see no reason why this principle should operate differently to a plaintiff's gains in the context of an accounting of profits. The court also held that Nova's infringing activity provided it with a benefit in the market after the patent expired. I'm satisfied that in the but-for world, where Nova was unable to enter the LLDPE market until the expiry of the 705 patent, it would have taken Nova some time to overcome the long-established presence of Dow's elite products and ramp up its sales to the levels it enjoyed in the real world. The second accounting of profits issue is the deduction of costs. The profits payable by an infringer to a patent owner is the infringer's revenues from the sales of the infringing products minus the infringer's allowable costs of the raw materials. One of the issues in the case was the cost of ethylene, a key raw material used in making the infringing product, which should be deducted by Nova, hypothetical third-party market price for ethylene should be used. Dow, Nova's actual cost for manufacturing the ethylene should be used. The court held that the actual cost of ethylene should be used, and accounting of profits should be based on actual revenues and costs. Here, Nova enjoyed an economic advantage with respect to the cost of ethylene, the benefit of which must now be passed on to Dow. Nova did not pay a market price for the ethylene it used to manufacture the infringing products. Put it simply, Nova's position that the market price should be applied is based upon a theoretical cost that did not incur. The final award to Dow is approximately $645 million. Nova shall pay to Dow $644,623,550, inclusive of prejudgment interest to April 7, 2017, together with prejudgment interest calculated in accordance with the court's judgment in Dow v. Nova from April 7, 2017 to the date of this judgment. As part of the decision, the court determined for the first time that a patent owner in accounting of profits case could be entitled to springboard profits. The court found that Nova had obtained a benefit after the patent expired based on its infringing activity, which took place before the patent expired. In my view, Nova should not have been entitled to keep its profits from the sales after expiry, as it has used the infringement before expiry to its advantage.
As a result, in my view, the court came to the correct decision. To finish off my presentation, I would like to pose a question. Do you agree that Nova should be required to pay Dow for profits that were made after the patent expired?